Guys, you wanna get out of here? Let's go. Today I wanna go over a few signs that you're actually not a man. You know, unfortunately, a lot of us think, oh, once I'm 18, I'm a man, or once I'm 21, I'm a man. Well, what I've come to realize is being a man has a lot less to do with your chronological age and more about your mindset and what you actually do. Being a man, it's all about mindset. It's all about accepting responsibility. It's all about doing what you're supposed to do as opposed to what's easy. It's about not following the crowd. But unfortunately, there are some things that are very common in today's world that really let people know that you're not a man yet. You're still a boy, even if you're like a 40-year-old dude, right? You hear women say, oh, he was a man child. You know, a woman wants to be with a man. She wants to be with somebody that she feels secure around, that she feels safe with, that she feels isn't gonna play games, isn't gonna sit on their parents' couch playing video games, that's gonna get shit done. All right, a few things and signs that you're still a boy: you're immature. You know, what immature means basically is the way that you think, the way that you act, the way that you carry yourself, the way that you dress. If you dress like a little boy, nobody's gonna respect you. If you talk like a little boy, you use filler words all the time like, and, no, gentlemen, don't do it. If you curse and think that's actually wit, that's also something that makes you look like a little boy. Which brings me to the next thing that makes you look literally like a little boy, and that is not having the ability to talk well or to communicate with people. If you go into a room and you're all awkward and like, and you feel super funny talking to somebody, you're carrying a conversation or looking them in the eye, that makes people think that you're weak and also like you haven't grown up, like you're a little boy. Also, you gotta make sure that you're straight in terms of where you're living. All right, one of the things that makes you look like a little boy is still living with your parents. Now, I'm not saying that there's not a time and a place for it, but you gotta be honest with yourself. How old are you? Do you have a job? Which is another thing that makes you look like a little boy. And that is not having gainful employment. If you don't have a job, if you don't have a career, if you don't have a direction that you're moving, you look young. You gotta just stop using your age as an excuse to why you can't, why you haven't yet, why you're not where you want to be. Fuck that shit. Like, look around. It has never been easier in the history of the universe to do something incredible, start your own business, go somewhere incredible, make a ton of money, and just be awesome, right? Look around, look at all these young dudes. I've got people literally in the white label empire that are 17 years old that have already made $100,000 with their first business. Age is irrelevant. What is relevant is you taking action. What is relevant is you having a strong mindset and being willing to take chances. All right, if you guys are interested in checking out the White Label Empire, real quick, I'm gonna link to it down below. We've reduced the price because a lot of you young guys were like, yo, I don't have $400. I wanna get into it, I wanna start a business, but I just don't have $400 or $500. Well, good news, I made it cheaper, 97 bucks. I'm gonna link to it down below, guys. If you wanna join us. I have built a curriculum with all the experience that I've gained over 20 years of business experience. I've had over 20 businesses. Some have been successful, some haven't. But I've consolidated all the information that I have learned, all of the things, all the tips, all of the tricks into one curriculum. But it's more than that, it's a community. We've got a forum where you can go in and ask questions, you can engage with other people that are like-minded, that are going and wanting to do amazing things like you. And once a week, we're gonna have a live training that's 2 hours where I go on and I talk about business. I also answer your questions real time. Guys, it is one of the best things I've ever done, and I want you to be a part of it. Guys, I'm gonna link down below to the White Label Empire. Go check it out and see if you're interested. And if you are, you better act soon because we only have 100 spots at this $97 a month price point. So if you're interested, guys, hit the link down below. You can cancel anytime, but I want you to get started because I want you to be more successful than me. That is a fact. Link below, don't wait. I'm literally sweating my ass off, so I gotta go find some shade. Let's move. Something else that makes you look like a little boy is avoiding conflict, right? Men, they take ownership, they stand up, they do what they need to do. Little boys, they're like, I'm scared, I don't wanna have hard conversations. The other thing that makes you look like a little boy is that you react as opposed to act. Here's the difference. When something happens to you, how do you respond? Is it reactionary? Do you get upset? Do you freak out? Do you get scared? Do you run away? Or do you think about it for a second and then take a logical approach to however you need to act in order to solve the situation or problem? Stand up for yourself. You know, that's one of the things that separates men from boys. And I know because I was a little boy longer than I should have been. I had a difficult time standing up for myself. A lot of it was trauma and things that happened to me when I was younger because I had some abusive stepfathers, and I basically learned to just shut my mouth because I just wanted everybody to get along, because I didn't want people to fight. It did a tremendous amount of damage to me long into my 20s. And I really lost the ability to stand up for myself and to basically take care of myself. It wasn't until I actually went to therapy to deal with my issues, deal with my shit, and basically decide, you know what, fuck it, I want to be happy, and it's okay. And the first time I basically had a hard conversation and said no to somebody who was treating me poorly, or no to somebody that was taking advantage of me, it was crazy hard. I felt like I needed to pass out, but I did it. And after that, it got easier. And now, don't fuck with me because I'll stand up for myself, all right? Which brings me to something else, sticking up for other people. And that's something also that separates boys from men, in my opinion. You know, the boys are the ones that go along with the flow or follow the crowd or don't stick up for the little guy, or they don't do the things that they need to do that are hard because they don't want to be ridiculed or laughed at. Men stand up for people that they need to stand up for, including their friends, including their family, including people they don't even know, because it's the right thing to do. So for you guys that remember this bench, you are an OG Alpha M subscriber. So you guys remember this whole setup? This brings me way back to when I first started making videos. I used to come to Marietta Square just because it felt like home, even though I didn't live here, and I found this bench and I just would film, and it was incredible. It also got me over the fear of like speaking in public to a camera, which brings me to something else that separates boys from men, and that is self-awareness. A lot of times when you're a boy, you're not self-aware, right? You don't realize your actions, how they're affecting other people, or the things that you say, or how you're coming across. And that's one of the big things that separates boys from men. Men are a lot more aware of how they act and how their actions affect other people, along with their words. All right, being able to speak, being able to communicate, being able to be empathetic, this is also something that is very manly. All right, boys a lot of times are so unaware and oblivious to basically other people's feelings or other people's emotions that they're only worried about themselves, which is being very self-centered, which is another thing that separates men from boys. Boys are self-centered. All right, they think the world revolves around them. Unfortunately, it doesn't, and the good thing is that it's actually a benefit that you realize that it doesn't, because when you're so focused on thinking that everybody's worried about you, everybody's paying attention to you, everybody's, you know, criticizing you or critiquing you, this will stifle your growth. It'll also limit your potential for doing something amazing and growing. Because once you realize that other people aren't thinking about you, they're only thinking about themselves, right? They're worried about their own issues. They're worried about their own wives cheating on. They're worried about their own shit. They're not even thinking about you. You're not even on their radar. And once you realize that, it basically is freeing, and it allows you to just go after your dreams, go after your goals, which brings me to something else that separates boys from men, and that is a growth mindset. Men have a growth mindset. Little boys take, right? You look at a little kid in a store, what's he doing? He's always like grabbing and taking stuff, right? Well, if you're somebody that is taking from the world, taking from society, taking from people, and never giving back, and you're not giving back anything of substance, you're not a man yet, you're a boy. If you let other people take care of you, you're a little boy. If you're sitting on a couch playing video games all the time, you're not a man, you're not grown up. If you're spending a crazy amount of time on social media, watching videos, surfing porn, looking at TikTok, you are not a man, because a man doesn't waste his time. A man doesn't feed his brain junk food or shit food. Right? It's the same thing with your body. Think of everything you consume in terms of content and who you listen to as food that you're basically feeding your brain. Who you listen to, what you listen to, it matters. Just like what you eat and what you consume. If you consume a bunch of shit food, you're gonna get man boobs, you're gonna get fat, you're not gonna look good, right? Same thing goes for your brain. A man feeds his brain better food. Boys lack the ability to commit to anything, because they're always waiting for the next best thing, or when something gets hard or challenging, they're like, yo, I don't want to do this, I'm going to do something else, right? Nah, men, they know that it's going to be hard. Men know that it's going to be challenging. It doesn't mean that they don't change over time as they develop, as they learn, but they're willing to commit to a woman, to a career path, to something they want to do. And this ultimately is something that separates boys from men. Guys, the fact is, a lot of you are falling down on the job. Even though you may be chronologically a man, you're not yet, because of the things that you're not doing or the things that you should be doing. Anyway, guys, I just want to do a quick video because I've been thinking a lot about this. You know, I look around at social media and I think, man, you guys are really in need of some better guidance, some better male role models. You know, unfortunately, that's probably not going to change anytime soon, but but you can. I want you to adopt a more manly mentality. I want you to adopt more manly skill sets, and I want you to take ownership in whatever you decide to do. I want you to be able to commit to things. I want you to get off your ass. I want you to do something amazing. I want you to join the white label empire that I will link to down below. Guys, I love you. And the reason why I want to do this video, even though some of you might be a little bit like, yo, I think he was talking to me, because some of you really needed to hear the message in today's video, I want you to be better. I want you to be the man that you are destined to be, and I want you to be the man that you are able to be. But it takes you stopping some of the behaviors that we talked about in today's video. You know, the first step is acknowledging. Once you acknowledge that you're doing something, you can change it. But if you're being ignorant or you're just being blind to the fact that you are acting like a little boy, nobody is going to respect you. It's time to man up, gentlemen. Do it today. Don't wait.